obviously Florida just lost 3 straight. You obviously want the teams that you play to do well, unless they're playing.
That's true. It's not going so well.
No, it's not. What's your mindset going into this game with Florida?
Well, I think, you know, any opponent, obviously you got to look at them at their best and be prepared for their best shot. So that being said, we expect Florida to shoot a lot better than 2 for 19 from the three-point line. You know, they've had their struggles here recently, but I think you're seeing it across the country. You know, Kansas loses at home last night. Who else lost at home last night? Notre Dame the day before. So it's just, you know, it's getting harder to win. I always say it gets harder to win in December and a lot harder in January. So it's getting there where it gets harder to win games. So we got our own problems. Last time we played, we played awful. If you tell me my team would ever play that bad defensively as we played in our last game, I wouldn't believe it, to be honest with you. So right now we'll approach Florida like they're going to be at their best, but we got our own issues that we need to solve, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
So you've obviously been harping defense this week.
Well, we just don't. You know, you can't give up 89 points and think you're going to have a chance. You know, you score 30 points in a half on the road against a top 20 team, you maybe could be tied or winning. Shouldn't be down 13. So you got to give yourself a chance, and I think all great teams, they understand that. Like if you ask me right now, I would tell you Michigan State's the best team in the country, because it's evident that watching them, like they understand that. So it's what we've been talking about all week. You know, our identity has got to be about playing extremely hard and being committed to getting defensive stops, and that your offense comes from your defense. And getting out rebounded is a product of terrible defense, because when all you're doing is getting it out of the net, you're not going to get defensive rebounds. All you're doing is taking the ball out. So it all feeds into each other, but it starts with our defensive effort, no question. So that's been our focus this week.
What specifically on defense were you not doing?
Everything. You know, I will say this, Chris, like you have to, like when you play really good teams, you might not be able to take away everything. You got to take away something. You can't give up 9 layups and 7 threes in a half, which is what we accomplished in our last game. So you got to be able to take away something from a team. It's like last night, Washington took away the three-point line from Kansas, gave themselves a chance to win, and they won the game. We didn't take away anything in our last game, and that's what happens when you don't take away anything. You're giving up layups and threes, you can't win. So it wasn't mutually exclusive to one player, and it wasn't exclusive to half court. We gave them up in transition. We gave them up in the half court. Like I said, we had breakdowns just about every way you could have them. And now from that point on, now you know, there became a lot of scrambling, you have to gamble, trying to make up a big deficit. You're going to give some things up when you got to try to press and make a comeback, obviously. But should have never got to that point defensively.
Coach, the 5 spot, you said you were searching for answers at that position.
Yeah, we really struggled defensively in that position the other day.
Do you have 5 days later, looking at the film, a different read on that now?
No, I was accurate, but it wasn't exclusive to them. Okay. It definitely wasn't exclusive to them. But we had some possessions where they didn't get back, didn't turn around, and didn't have anybody.
Was that like an open competition after those minutes?
Everything's always an open competition. The way I approach coaching every year is that my job's an open competition. I think it keeps you sharp that way. I say it funny every year. You're either getting extended or you're getting extinguished. You know, so I think it always has to be. I think if your players feel that as the coach is just going to play a guy because of he's a senior, or because the fans think should play, I know I wouldn't want to play for that coach. I wouldn't want to play really hard. I'd want to play for a coach that's going to play the guys that deserve it. So here we try to base playing time off of who's trying to help us win the most. Who's trying to do the things it takes to help us win the most? And I want my players to believe that, because I think you can't ask them to give you everything that they got and expect that they're going to give you everything that they got if you're not doling out playing time based on who's trying to help us win, who's playing for the team.
Do you have Xavier has a guy like Blewett, kind of a go-to guy. Do you need to develop that guy? Do you have that guy? How important is that?
I think we got more than one.
So you don't necessarily need just one guy?
I'd rather have two. You know, I think that, you know, we could possibly have three, Jacob, Gary, and Jaron. But I think you got to realize you're not going to win every game. You know, so when you get beat, you can't panic. Your job as a coach is to focus on details and reality.
So it can change.
As I got you a nice vacation in the Caymans, Gary looked like a go-to guy, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So it's my point.
But it changes. We got Jacob
I just
at
think,
23.
yeah, that's what I said. I think we got more than one. It doesn't matter if you don't have a go-to defense.